Ryan Coogler delivered another spec.
What? It's my turn. Man, let's go. Oh, this guy. This guy. This freaking guy. Alright.
Ryan Coogler delivered another spectacle in visual media with his latest film, Sinners. I found myself stunned leaving the theater on premiere night after witnessing a cinematic masterpiece in elite storytelling unfold. Originally marketed as a horror film, I'll be the first one to tell you that labeling it as just that would be doing it a disservice. Just like the very talented Jordan Peele, I find that Ryan Coogler was able to blend multiple areas of storytelling together to create his own fresh new genre. That's why this film is getting a lot of recognition, because it oozes with originality and uniqueness. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, Elijah and Elias, twin brothers, return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. To begin, I have to commend the acting. Every single actor in this film killed their performance, especially Michael B. Jordan. He was so good at playing both characters that he really felt like two different people. I almost forgot that he wasn't a twin. And this has been done before, but he really made it his own thing throughout the performance. Both brothers had distinctive mannerisms, tones, goals, and motivations towards what they wanted. The supporting cast also did not disappoint. Equally strong performances from Haley Steinfeld, Miles Canton, who is actually making his cinematic debut in this film, by the way, Jack O'Connell, and Wunmi Mosaku, who all added to the rich narrative by bringing their characters to life. The cinematography is something I want to highlight as well, as the attention to detail with so many sequences in this film had me at the edge of my seat, but not in fear, in excitement and anticipation. The visual cues used throughout the movie to communicate the era were done with such precision, one could only sit in awe of the detail presented. The composition on a lot of these shots was also done so perfectly, and keep in mind, there is only one Michael B. Jordan. How they filmed the scenes with both of them in one shot had me really thinking I was seeing double. And if you've ever attempted to shoot dual persons, then you know how difficult this must have really been. Incredible work from the DP, who was able to paint the clearest picture of a place consumed with sin. There was this one sequence in particular in the Juke where the cinematography worked hand in hand with the composer to paint a beautiful scene highlighting our connection through music. I had goosebumps, as that scene alone should earn him a nomination. The film was shot on 65mm film using IMAX and Ultra Panavision cameras, capturing the rich atmosphere of the Prohibition era South. So please, if you get the chance, make sure you see this on an IMAX screen, the way the director intended you to watch it. The score was composed by the famous and talented Ludwig Göransson. He is back at creating sonic magic once again with another impeccable score. The music helped paint the eerie narrative that Coogler was trying to communicate. After listening to the soundtrack by itself, you can feel the emotion and even fear throughout the music, proving that the sounds of this film can stand on their own while telling the story without using many words. Ludwig mixes in elements of traditional African music, hymns of the South, blues, and almost all areas of music where Black people have greatly contributed to. And he does this effortlessly. One thing I really loved about the storytelling in this film was how they used exposition, but not just through dialogue, but through sound effects of scenarios. It helped paint the picture rather than just showing it with narration overlay like they usually do. Coogler was also able to weave in concepts of African heritage, spirituality, Black Americans' contribution to the blues and all genres of music, the familiar tale of good versus evil, a new spin on vampire hunting, how ancient traditions are still embedded in many of our practices, and how it connects us all through the spiritual. And for that, I have to say hats off to you and the entire production team for bringing in all these concepts into one cohesive narrative. One thing that was on my mind once the credits rolled was if this movie was based loosely on the story of Robert Johnson. If you haven't heard this story, this is the tale of the man who sold his soul at the crossroads and died mysteriously. He was a famous guitar player, which is very similar to our main character, Sammy. So you guys let me know what you think, because I definitely see some similarities between him and Sammy, our main protagonist in the film. I also wonder if Elijah and Elias is a play on Elijah from the Bible, as Elias is often how Elijah could also be spelled. He was a prominent prophet and miracle worker who was known for his role in challenging the worship of the deity Baal and defending the worship of Yahweh. Elijah also performed miracles like bringing fire down from the sky and being taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. which, without giving too much away, is faintly similar to the story of brother Elijah in this film. To me, his nickname Smoke must also allude to the fire symbolism throughout the story of the film, and how his lover is ultimately connected to the spiritual. Elias, the brother who becomes possessed by the entity, can very much represent the Baal symbolism or worship in the biblical sense, painting an eerie picture of duality. And with that, I have to say Sinners is definitely so far my movie of the year. And I can say that because I'm still here thinking about all the emotions it made me feel even a day later. A movie has yet to do that at this level for me this year, and Coogler must have felt the void that is within all moviegoers at this time because he delivered all around. This is what the industry and movie buffs like myself desperately needed. Original films told by passionate storytellers and talented individuals alike. I highly recommend Sinners to everyone, as I do feel like there is something in it for a lot of different people to grasp onto. I have always been a fan of Coogler since I saw Fruitville Station back in 2013, and with that, I can confidently say that this is his best work to date. You can see that the experience he has had in the industry through his previous films paid off in his most recent work. A 10 out of 10 experience all around. If you're interested in a film that offers a fresh take on vampire lore with a strong emotional core, then Sinners is definitely worth checking out.